Hello, my beautiful and magnificent Leo souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom, your sacred space for awakening the divine fire that dwells within you. I am your guide, and if you have found your way to this specific message at this exact moment in time, I want you to feel deep within the chambers of your heart that this is a divine appointment. The universe itself has orchestrated this meeting. Pause with me just for a moment. Find a space where you can be undisturbed. I invite you to place a hand over your heart to feel that steady, powerful rhythm. Take a slow, deep breath in, filling your lungs with courage and light. Hold it for a count of 3, and as you exhale, release any doubt, any fear, any whisper that has ever told you that you are anything less than royalty. Let your shoulders relax. Let the golden light of your own spirit fill the room. Because the cosmos is about to reveal a truth so profound, it will reawaken the memory of the throne that has always been yours. Leo, have you ever felt a fire in your heart? A magnificent burning passion to create, to lead, to shine, but found yourself whispering when you were born to roar? Have you ever felt the weight of a crown? You cannot see a sense of destiny so vast, it almost frightens you. If your soul is stirring, if your heart is saying yes to this sacred recognition, then I want you to do something for me right now. Make a pact with your own rising. Press that like button, not as a simple click, but as a powerful declaration to the universe that you are ready to stop playing small. And if you are ready to fully step into your power, go to the comments below and declare with me, I am ready to reclaim my light. And of course, if this space feels like home, subscribe to Cosmic Wisdom so we may continue to walk this luminous path of awakening together. This message, dear Leo, is about the sacred echo of your family's past, not as a burden to be carried, but as a royal legacy that is still guiding your future. You may feel it in moments of inexplicable courage, in a deep-seated desire for justice, in a creative fire that seems to burn with the heat of 1,000 suns. This is not a coincidence. It is your divine inheritance, a story of light power and sovereignty written in the stars, waiting for you to finally claim it. So soften your heart, magnificent lion, and let us begin this sacred journey of remembrance. Have you ever felt an ache in your soul, a strange and powerful loneliness, even when surrounded by people? Perhaps you've looked in the mirror and seen the eyes of a king or a queen staring back, a ruler in exile, and wondered why your kingdom has not yet appeared. Perhaps you carry a silent frustration, a feeling that your true, brilliant self is trapped behind a veil of expectation or misunderstanding. You wonder, why do I feel this immense potential, yet struggle to fully unleash it? My dear luminous Leo, the heavens have an answer for you. Your heart was not meant for a small story. The feelings you carry are not delusions of grandeur. They are echoes of your truth. Perhaps the weight you feel is not a burden of pain, but the heaviness of a crown that your lineage has been waiting for you to wear. In the sacred theater of the zodiac, you, Leo, are ruled by the sun itself. You are the heart, the center, the radiant source of light, warmth, and life. You are not just another sign. You are the celestial embodiment of creative power and sovereign will. Within your spiritual DNA lives the memory of every leader, every artist, every creator, and every ruler who came before you. This is why your desire to shine is not ego. It is your soul's purpose calling you home. But what happens when that light has been suppressed? What happens when for generations the lions in your family were taught to be lambs? What happens when the kings and queens were forced to hide their crowns for fear of being seen, for fear of being too powerful, too bright, too much. That legacy of suppressed light does not simply vanish. It becomes a dense energy, a silent weight passed down through time. It becomes a story whispered in the bloodline. Don't shine too brightly. It's not safe. Don't ask for too much. You'll be seen as arrogant. Don't lead. It's better to follow. When Pluto, the planet of soul memory and transformation, moves through your chart, it excavates these hidden contracts. It unearths the invisible chains that have bound your family's power. You may not remember the specific events, but your soul does. You feel it as a hesitation before you speak your truth, a flicker of fear when you are about to step into the spotlight, a strange guilt that accompanies your greatest ambitions. This is not your weakness, magnificent soul. This is ancestral memory. The universe did not give you this immense light to punish you with fear. It trusted you with it. It knew that after generations of dimming their own brilliance, your lineage needed a soul brave enough to finally turn the sun back on. That soul is you. If you have ever felt held back by an invisible force, I want you to stop blaming yourself. You are not broken. You are the breaker of chains. You are the first in your family with the courage to stand in the full glare of your own light and ask, what is this fear really trying to protect me from? Perhaps the frustration you feel was born long before you were. It is the silent roar of a grandfather who had to abandon his artistic dreams for practicality. It is the unspoken ambition of a grandmother who was a natural leader but was told her place was in the shadows. It is the righteous anger of an ancestor who was unjustly dethroned and silenced. Those powerful energies never disappeared. They were compressed like coal, waiting for a heart strong enough, a spirit fiery enough to turn that pressure back into a diamond. That heart, dear Leo, is yours. When you awaken to this profound truth, you stop seeing your frustration as a flaw. You begin to understand it as a sacred inheritance. The universe placed this fire within you, not so you would burn out in frustration, but so you would use it to illuminate the world. Every time you feel that surge of passion, it is a baptism not of anger, but of remembrance. Take a slow, powerful breath. Imagine those who came before you, the silent kings and the hidden queens, standing proudly behind you. They are not asking you to be small for them. They are whispering with all their might, shine for us, child. Be the sun we were afraid to be, and in your light, set us all free. As you breathe out, you begin to understand. Your ambition is a prayer. Your creativity is a bridge to the divine. Through you, the suppressed power of your lineage finds its way back into the world, not as a destructive force, but as a radiant, life-giving light. You are not just living your story, you are fulfilling theirs. The world often misunderstands the Leo heart. It may label your confidence as arrogance, your passion as drama, your need to be seen as vanity. But what they fail to see is that your light is not for you alone. Your radiance is a gift. It gives others permission to shine. It warms those who are cold and lost. It illuminates the truth in a world that has grown comfortable in the shadows. When Christ said, "You are the light of the world," he was speaking to souls like you, those who carry the sun in their hearts, those who refuse to let fear extinguish their inner flame, those who understand that true leadership is not about control, but about inspiration. So today, when that old hesitation returns, do not fight it. Do not run from it. Sit with it like a wise old counselor. Whisper to it, "I see you. I know you are the fear of my ancestors, but I will love you until you remember that you are made of light." That single moment of conscious choice is your turning point. Because empowerment never begins with ignoring fear. It begins with loving it into courage. It begins with remembering that you are not just one small person. You are the continuation of 1,000 suns, a legacy of light that has been waiting for this very lifetime to be reborn. The patterns of fear that once trapped your ancestors now find their release through your courage. This is what divine alchemy looks like. The Saturn-Neptune alignment that is shaping the cosmos right now is dissolving the old karmic structures of fear and replacing them with a divine mandate of purpose. What once felt like an impossible burden now reveals itself as your sacred mission. The more you courageously embrace your light, the more true power flows into your spirit. You begin to see the divine design behind every challenge. The family that told you to be quiet taught you how to find the power in your authentic voice. The world that misunderstood your intentions taught you how to be sovereign in your own truth, needing no external validation. The loneliness you once felt becomes the sacred solitude where you commune with your own divine spirit. Leo, your fiery heart is not an accident. It is architecture. It is how heaven builds courage on earth. Every soul in your lineage contributed a spark, some of fear, some of strength, and now it all converges within you, a bonfire of redemption. You are both the inheritor and the transformer of that sacred fire. When you forgive those who were afraid, you unlock the future. When you love yourself enough to shine unapologetically, you honor every ancestor who longed for that same freedom. Take another deep breath. Feel the powerful pulse in your chest. That rhythm is the drumbeat of a royal lineage echoing through your veins. They are not gone. They are roaring through you, seeking your courage as their final liberation. Let that awareness empower you, not burden you. You are not here to save anyone. You are here to remember that your own light was the only thing that ever needed saving. Every creative risk you take, every time you speak your truth from the stage of your life, every moment you choose joy over resentment, you are rewriting history. You are turning what was once fear into power. You are becoming living proof that a single spark of courage can set an entire forest of ancestral doubt ablaze, leaving behind only the fertile ground for new growth. And that light, magnificent Leo is the glorious revolution of your soul. It doesn't ask for permission. It simply shines. Tonight, before you sleep, place your hand over your heart and declare, I release the fears of my ancestors. I bless their journey, and I reclaim the full power of their light as my own. That is not arrogance. It is your divine inheritance. And as you drift into rest, you will feel a shift, not outside, but within. A warmth, radiant as the sun, spreading through your entire being. That is your ancestors applauding you. That is the universe saying, it is done. The throne has been waiting. You were never meant to carry their fear forever. You were meant to carry their crown. And now, as the stars begin to align in a new powerful configuration, as the sun in your chart prepares to receive a divine blessing, a new calling begins to rise from the fiery depths of your soul. Because once you understand the legacy you carry, the next question emerges with breathtaking clarity. What happens when you realize you have also been carrying your parents' unfinished dreams of glory? Let us journey deeper now into the sacred chambers of the heart. Have you ever wondered whose ambitions are truly fueling your drive? Is the stage you are striving for truly your own? Or are you quietly trying to win the applause your parents never received? Leo, your soul is a radiant sun, but you were born into a specific solar system, your family. You did not simply inherit their physical traits. You inherited their relationship with the light. You absorbed their unspoken desires for recognition, their hidden fears of failure, their complicated dance with power and visibility. Somewhere deep inside your brilliant heart, their unfinished performance found a new stage. Perhaps you feel an overwhelming pressure to succeed because your father felt like a failure and you are subconsciously trying to redeem his story. Perhaps you are terrified of being truly seen because your mother, a brilliant woman, was taught to dim her light to make others comfortable, and you carry her fear of outshining others. Perhaps you chase external validation, likes, followers, applause, because you learned from them that love and worthiness were conditional, earned only through impressive achievements. In the divine language of astrology, this is no mere coincidence. The sun in your chart, which represents your core identity and life force, and the moon, which holds your emotional legacy, carry the energetic signatures of your parents. For a Leo, your sun often reflects your father's legacy of power or lack thereof, while your moon mirrors your mother's relationship with her own inner radiance. These celestial bodies in your chart tell a story of how you learned to either embrace or fear your own light based on the examples they set. Their stories flow into you, not as burdens of sadness, but as scripts you subconsciously feel compelled to perform. This is why you sometimes find yourself locked in patterns that feel beneath you. You might seek approval from those who will never give it. You might sabotage your own success right before a major breakthrough because you fear the visibility it will bring. You might feel an insatiable need to be the best, not for the joy of it, but to finally prove your worth to ghosts of the past. These are not personal flaws, my dear Leo. They are inherited roles. You have been trying to win your parents' battles on the stage of your own life. But here lies the sacred, transformative truth. The universe never intended for you to be their understudy. It sent you to write and star in your own magnificent production. It placed their unfinished ambitions within you so that they could finally find resolution, not repetition. When you begin to see this with clarity, your heart, that great and generous Leo heart, begins to soften. You realize your parents were not your enemies or your obstacles. They were your first directors. Through their own struggles with the spotlight, they showed you exactly what your soul came here to master. Your mother's fear was never meant to be your cage. It was meant to teach you what true, unapologetic feminine power looks like. Your father's silence or his misuse of power was not your destiny. It was an invitation for you to define leadership with integrity and heart. Their story was the setup. Your life is the glorious climax. This is the hidden grace of your karma. It is not a punishment. It is a purification process. You are not trapped by the roles you inherited. You are being divinely coached to transcend them. Take a slow, intentional breath. Feel how much of your energy, your drive, is still entangled with their story. The way you push yourself relentlessly. The way you fear criticism. The way you long for that one person to finally say, "You are enough." All of it, at its very core, is love. You have been trying to love them, to heal them, the only way you knew how, by trying to succeed where they could not. But true love does not ask you to finish someone else's performance. True love asks you to deliver your own with breathtaking authenticity. The sun, your ruling star, is now whispering through the cosmos, gently burning away the illusions, especially the illusion that you must earn your right to shine. You were never meant to win their approval through your success. You were meant to set them and yourself free through your own sovereignty. Sovereignty does not erase what happened. It reclaims the power that was lost. When you forgive your parents for the scripts they gave you, you are not saying their fears were valid. You are saying you now understand this role was never mine to play. I release it with love and I choose my own. That moment of conscious release is a sacred coronation. In that instant, the karmic loop breaks. The energy that kept your family bound by cycles of ambition and disappointment of seeking external glory now becomes pure creative fuel for your own soul's purpose. It is no longer about proving something. It is simply about being. This magnificent Leo is why you were born into the exact family you were. It was not a cosmic error. It was divine orchestration. The universe placed you among souls who would both challenge and activate your inner sun, because only through them could you learn the crucial difference between ego-driven performance and soul-led radiance. Your heart, by its very nature, wants to shine. But part of your soul's evolution in this lifetime is to learn the holiness of your own light. To shine not for applause, but because it is your nature. To lead, not to control, but to inspire. To be seen, not for validation, but as an act of service to the world. This is divine leadership. It sees the fears of the past, but no longer performs them. It says, "Understand your story, but I will not let it be the final act of mine." This is how the universe works its magic through you. Not by having you repeat your parents' quest for glory, but by you transforming it into grace. When you choose authenticity, where they chose to wear a mask, you rewrite the energetic signature of your lineage. When you roar your truth, where they stayed silent, you clear a new path for generations to come. When you dare to be magnificent simply for the joy of it, without needing anyone's permission, you heal the parts of them that always wished they could. Do you see now how sacred your ambition is? It is not ego. It is your inheritance in motion. It is the alchemy of generations, finding its glorious resolution through your courage. Sometimes the soul agrees to take on a grander role, not as a punishment, but as a divine assignment. Leo, you are that soul, the one who volunteered to end the cycle of conditional worthiness by embodying unconditional self-love. So the next time you feel that immense pressure to perform, remember, you might be feeling the ambition of an ancestor who never got their chance to shine. And that is not a burden. That is a sacred fire. Look gently at your parents, not with the judgment of a critic, but with the compassionate eyes of a fellow soul. See them as actors who were also handed scripts from their parents. See how each generation did the best they could with the light and the roles they were given. Then whisper either aloud or in your heart, "I see you, I love you, and now I will write my own story." That whisper travels through time. It reaches the stages of the past, where your ancestors still long for an encore, and it sets them free. From this moment on, your story changes. As Saturn, the planet of mastery, aligns with your sun, you begin to integrate their lessons rather than repeat their patterns. The need for external validation becomes the anchor of internal sovereignty. The ambition that once drained you now becomes an endless well of creative power. You begin to live as yourself, not as an echo, but as a glorious resonant voice. And that voice carries light. It carries redemption. It carries the wisdom that says, "What was passed down to me will end in triumph." This is what liberation feels like, Leo. Not abandoning your family, but loving them from a higher stage, where forgiveness replaces blame and freedom replaces fear. Your life is not a repetition of their struggle. It is their prayer finally answered. So if today you feel torn between the role you were given and the truth of who you are, remember this: you do not betray your parents by finding your own stage. You honor them by becoming the star you were always born to be. Because every soul who dares to shine gives their ancestors the one thing they always wanted: a reason to applaud. Let your ambition guide you, but let your heart be the director. And as your chart continues to evolve, as your sun begins to blaze with a new unburdened light, a new question will rise from the glorious fire of your soul. What happens when you finally stop performing for others and discover the magnificent truth of who you are when no one is watching? Let us continue to part 3, where your soul begins to step away from the script of the past and remembers its own divine sovereign identity.